Tanor Bortolini's in his second year as a center with the Indianapolis Colts. He was inactive the first 2 games last year. He's grown to be in a position where they could let Ryan Kelly walk away, sign as a free agent with the Minnesota Vikings, and know that that position was going to be well cared for, the responsibilities of that position well executed in Tanor Bortolini. That's a hell of a long way to go in 365 days. Here's Tanor Bortolini.
I'm really excited. Obviously, it's an opportunity you've worked your whole life for, so kind of to see all the work you've put in come to fruition is a pretty surreal feeling, but I'm really excited that I can be this guy and do that for this team.
Where do you think you grew the most from the start of camp till now with that battle with Danny?
I think just a lot of the small little things. I think always coming back and playing football for the first time in like a year or so, you're going to be a little rusty. So just kind of fine-tuning some of those details, getting back to where you left off last season and then improving from there. So I think just pass protection, just the technique I use, run game, hand placement, all those sort of things I think are things that you kind of emphasize and get better at throughout the ball camp.
So I think you were inactive the first 3 games last year, right? So I mean, hard to say, but can you put yourself back in your shoes 365 days ago, just how much more comfortable you feel now and how far you've grown in 1 year?
I think it's crazy to look back at it. You know, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but time sure does fly. And I think looking back, just how much more I've grown in as a player, in my preparation and on the field ability, I think is mind-blowing to me. I think it really just shows myself that I can keep growing, keep improving. And it's just all the things you do on every day. And like, what can I get better at practice today? I got to emphasize something, pick one thing to get better at. And over the course of a year, I'm pretty, it just blows my mind all the improvements I've made. So just got to keep doing that and keep on that trajectory.
What'd you learn from Ryan that helps you for this?
I think just the way he leads and commands. The guys respected him a lot, and obviously he's a seasoned, proven veteran when I came in. Was just a really good guy to get some tips and tricks on what he does well. And along with that, just the kind of command presence he has at the line of scrimmage, what he's looking for and how he commands the guys around him to be better and how, his play makes them better.
What makes Siler for the Dolphins a challenge?
I think he's just a really good veteran who's played a lot of football, really smart guy. He'll take advantage of any mistakes that you make. And I think that's the thing about being a young guy is that you can't allow him those opportunities. He's obviously a guy that has been playing at a high level for a long time. So as a young guy, they're probably going to test you in the game. It's how it goes, and I wouldn't expect anything different. So just being ready to go against him, not give him anything that he can take advantage of, and put my best foot forward.
Tanor, this might be kind of a dumb question, but like when you come into the league, you know your strengths, right? And obviously you know your weaknesses, which you want to improve on. But how much of playing the game is making sure, okay, can I just, to a degree, stick to what I'm good at, if that makes sense?
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things where being a good player is knowing your weaknesses. You have to know what you're not good at and make an emphasis to not put yourself in those positions. I'm not to say anybody's bad at anything necessarily, but you're always going to have the point of your game where you're not the strongest. And I think it's just finding spots within the plays, within the scheme that you can showcase your ability to do certain things, and just trying to put yourself in a position where if you have any weaknesses that they're not exploited.
What's it like working with him?
Really good. I really enjoy it. Really good presence in the huddle, good command at the line of scrimmage, and it's something you really like to see out of a quarterback. Having a guy back there who's been to the playoffs, won a playoff game. It's something that I think boosts the confidence of a lot of guys around you, and we're really excited to have here.
I've heard from the receivers that he'll bring him into film sessions and talk about like if you see this. This is what to look for. Has he done that with you?
Yeah, and it's cool because he makes some checks at the line of scrimmage in practice yesterday. And I'm like, all right, like as long as you're good with that, I'm good with that. And, it's cool to have a quarterback that he really understands what he's doing, and I think it excites me that he takes pride in that as well. And that's a really big part of our offense is that he knows what we're doing. We know what he wants, and I think as an offense it'll make us better as a whole.
How do you think he sees the game?
Really well. I think obviously he's played a lot of football, had a lot of starts, and it's given him the opportunity to learn a lot of different things, see a lot of different defenses. So, just kind of talking to him, you kind of hear what he sees when he looks at the defense, what he's looking for, what tendencies, indicators. I think that's a really big piece of what makes him a special player.
How have you seen his edge come out? Because with us, like most players, he's a little more subdued, but I imagine to be the quarterback, you have to be demanding, commanding, things of that nature.
He does a good job. I think he finds that fine line of, demanding the best, demanding you do your best on every play and from every player, but not, in a way that really pisses guys off, and if that makes sense, you know. I think he has a really good leadership presence and quality to him. But I think every leader is a little different. You know, you look at the way Q leads, the way Daniel leads. They're both a little different personality types, personality styles, but they're both really important leaders for this team.
There's Tanor Bortolini, and there's going to be a lot of weight on Tanor Bortolini on Sunday. He and Daniel Jones have to be in lockstep. They got to be in sync. This is a robust defensive line that he's going to be going up against, and that Daniel Jones has to be protected from. He's going to have to be on his P's and Q's. Colts are going to have to execute at a really high level on Sunday to keep Daniel Jones clean.